You'll call that they don't want to see you win and they want to see you in a penitentiary. Right, left, up, side, down. I don't know how we got that to this. So, today we are going to predict the group stages for Euro 2020, 21, 2020, 21. It's confusing. I'm going to call it Euro 2020 or just the Euros to stop the confusion on my part. As you can see here is all of the groups. And this is also for you to predict the 4 best third place teams. So whoever gets the most here, the 4 I pick will progress. So what I'm going to do is predict who I think is going to win each group and where everyone else in the group is going to finish. To start off with, I guess we start alphabetically, especially because Group F here looks like the group of death. So I think this may be a good sort of slow burner up into the group of death and how I see that is going to go. So to start off, we're going to start with Group A, which consists of Switzerland, Turkey, Wales and Italy. And I think for me, there could be, I'd say my dark horses of the competition would be Italy. I don't think they've lost in something like their last 27 or 28 match games. I'm not too sure how specific that is, how accurate, like how many games it is, but I know it's about 27, 28. We know what Switzerland can do. We know what Wales can do, especially with their attacking talent, and they're very solid at the back, and they played quite well the other night against France. Although I didn't watch it, I did hear a lot about it. But I think the surprise team in here, that could have a bit of a shock factor, could be Turkey. But I think it's pretty dead cert for me that Italy are going to come first. I just think what Mancini has done to the team is fantastic, and they're just going to keep progressing from here on out. So I think Italy are slowly starting to build, but I think especially with Italy, it's really hard to rule a club with so much prestige and so much history in tournaments out of winning one or out of doing well in one. It's just, we've seen it before, and I'm sure we'll see it again, especially with Mancini giving a chance to the youth. I know they still seem to play Chiellini and Bonucci as their back two, but I think they're starting to get phased out now, which wouldn't surprise me if at the World Cup we see one of those two drop out of the back two, even if it is for Mancini, who is no relative, I believe, to the manager. So I think next I'm going to go for Turkey because it is close. I think they could finish in probably any of these 3 spots here, realistically. But I think I'm going to put Turkey in second purely because they have some fantastic players playing for them. They do get a lot of shock results. Players like Canahoglu, who's linked to United, funnily enough, and things. Very, very good. They have that Yilmaz from Lille, so we'll see how they get on. And I think it could be the surprise package. As for who I think is going to come third and fourth, so the team who I think could be coming down into here for this playoff, and who I think is going home. Now this is tough because both teams have some standout players. We saw exactly what Wales were capable of at the last Euros, where they made it to the semi-finals, I believe. And I think Wales are going to go. That's really tough, actually. I'm trying to debate all the factors in my head, but I think Wales, we are looking at third, which means Switzerland coming fourth. Now that was so tough, probably between all 3 of these teams. I wouldn't be surprised if many people, in fact, had Turkey lower down and these 2 further up. I think between these 3 it's very adjustable, but I think Turkey, there's just something going on there that I think we should all keep our eye on. Now, moving into Group B, I think it's pretty obvious who's going to win the group and who's going to finish second. I think we've seen exactly what Belgium are capable of at the World Cup, and they could probably do one better than that at this tournament and maybe make the final, depending on the luck of the draw. And Denmark are a very, very solid outfit. We've seen it in the qualifiers, the games that they've won. Pardon me, for the World Cup. So I think then it comes down to Russia and Finland. And for me, I think Finland are going to come fourth. And we saw how fantastic Russia had of a World Cup. So I'd say they're going to probably have a pretty solid Euros. Going to get in that third place spot. Finland are going to get unlucky and come last. Now, on to Group C, which is quite a difficult group to choose from. Obviously, you have Ukraine, you have Holland, you have Austria, and North Macedonia. Or is it just Macedonia? I think for me, I am going to go with Holland, Netherlands in first, which I think many people may see as the obvious choice. And then it comes down to me personally between Austria and Ukraine. I know North Macedonia had that fantastic result against Spain, but I do think they're going to come in fourth in this. I saw the game last night between Austria and England. What a game that was. Bukayo Saka. We saw some great things from Jude Bellingham. His off the ball work. But anyway, we'll move on from that. I think Ukraine are going to come in second because I keep seeing them troubling all these teams time and time again. So I do believe that I wouldn't be surprised if Ukraine come second and Austria come home and take third. Now for Group D, I think there's a lot of good aspects to this group. You're going to have England versus Scotland, that rivalry. You're going to have the fact that Croatia knocked England out of the World Cup. But I think that Croatia team now is starting to age. You're looking at Modric, he's hitting 35. Rakitic is retired. Handanovic is getting old. I know Kovacic is still in his prime. But I do, maybe it's biased, believe England win this group. I think Croatia come in second, and then you're going to ask who between third and fourth. For me, Scotland have beat Czech Republic. Have beaten Czech Republic the last 3 times they play. So for me, I think Scotland are going to take third by beating Czech Republic, and Czech Republic unfortunately will be going home. Now going on to quite a tricky group for me with Poland, Spain, Sweden, Slovakia. We've seen some very mixed results as far as I'm concerned from Spain. We've seen the 6-0 over Germany. I know it was an experimental Germany squad, but still scoring 6 past Germany is something I don't think many teams can boast. No matter what German side was put out, I think that is pretty special. But also drawing to North Macedonia is not ideal in any way, shape, and form. Sweden, we saw them have a great World Cup, and we know Zlatan won't be available for this tournament. Poland have a new manager in charge who isn't actually Polish, so he has done a lot of clearing out the names that were consistently going, and we're kind of going at that point on name value, a bit like some would argue Southgate did for England, getting rid of the likes of Rooney. So the manager at Poland is doing that for them, and we're starting to see a bit of a resurgence or a growth from the Polish national team. So I do think this group will be tough. And I think we're going to see a Spain in first, Sweden in second, Poland in third, and unfortunately for Slovakia, them coming in fourth. In Group F, now, drumroll, the tough one, the big one, Portugal, France, Germany, Hungary. Portugal, France, Germany, Hungary. Now, we have Portugal, the holders of the last Euros, winners of the last Euros. France, winners of the last World Cup, the holders of that great tournament, or probably the most prestigious tournament in the world of football. But we see how just strong in depth that French squad is in every single position. Germany, who are trying out new tactics. We know this is Joachim Löw's final tournament, his last time as Germany coach. This is going to define him. We know he's won the World Cup, but people will remember Joachim Löw of what he does in this tournament. And Hungary. And Hungary are not an easy team to beat. And that's what makes this group so difficult, because Hungary could easily pull off a few shock draws in there, or even wins. I do believe France win the group. I do believe it's easy going for France. I just think, not easy going, but I think they have what it takes. They have the players and they're going to progress very far, very late into this tournament. They have the experience and they have the youth. They have the proven players who do it time and time again. They have some of the best players in the world, and they have players who they bring off the bench, and you look at them and go, "Oh my God, there's another one coming on. There's another one coming on. They've got another one." They have so many fantastic players in each position that I do see it hard for France not to win the group. And I could see, there's Portugal. They are growing and growing. They're bringing through a lot of players. At the minute, we've seen the resurgence of Renato Sanchez and Andre Silva. They, of course, have Cristiano Ronaldo. They have Bruno Fernandes, Diogo Jota. This team is getting stronger and stronger, and they are the holders of the Euros. We have Germany, who are now, we've seen Serge Gnabry score an insane amount of goals recently for Germany, as playing as a sole striker. We saw Joachim Löw took a lot of players out of the team, the Mullers, the Kruses. They're back. They are back now for this tournament, and Germany do not have a focal point up front. They do not play Werner. They see him as a winger, so they don't have the Miroslav Kloses, the Mario Gomez that they used to, which could cause them an issue. But it is still Germany in a tournament. But for me, I'm going Portugal. I don't think Germany have what it takes. Not that they don't have what it takes, but I just think Portugal could be too much for them. So as you can see, here is all of my group stages, who I think is going to come and what position is going to come in. So we will react to that and see how well I did. However, we are now going to look at this. Predict the 4 best third place teams out of these 4 here. We have Wales, we have Russia, we have Austria, Scotland, Poland, and Germany. And now, the basis of this as well, you have to look at each of the groups. Look at who there is. And for me, I think we're going to see this group be very tight, and I think third place is going to miss out. I do think we're going to see Poland. I think we're going to see Scotland. No. We're going to see Austria. We're going to see Austria. We're going to see Russia. In that group there, we can see it. And we're going to see Germany. I think that is the 4 there. And I could easily go on to the knockout stages, but I think we will save that for another day.